Will you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and can we get a roll call?
Yes. Alex Pinot, Ali Diola, Beth Friend, Chris Cargill,
Here?
Don Noka,
Here.
Jason Barcombe, Rob Bruning,
Here.
Steve Faringa, and Tyler Dome.
And I will say, I did hear from everyone except Alex and Tyler, so I haven't, but yeah, we unfortunately just had some different things come up, and so.
Yeah, I'm sure some, at least for some people, it's, we're getting ready to head into a very busy weekend, so.
Yeah, some work commitments, illness, and those types of things, so.
All right, well, do we have, does somebody have a conflict of interest to declare? Doesn't look like it. And moving on, approval of the agenda for this week. I guess I'll just make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Great, thank you. Agenda is approved, and, oh, yes, thank you. All those in favor? Aye, all right, and thank you.
I guess we
Agenda's
can't-
approved.
Yeah, you
Aye.
can move forward on the agenda. You can't adopt the minutes.
Okay, right, without a quorum.
We'll just put the minutes for April on the agenda for also adopting along with May. at the
Gotcha,
meeting.
thank you. All right. Moving forward with public comment, it does not appear that we have any members of the public here this morning. And then onto correspondence, it looks like we have an email and some other things from Claire to,
Yeah, I'll just mention that we had a good meeting with Grand Traverse Band. Steve Faringa was on the call, as well as their engineer. And so they have a civil engineer on staff, and so we discussed with them the project to extend the sidewalk from the state park along the tribal property. They advised us, they were supportive, the staff, they advised us to send a letter to the tribal council, just kind of summarizing the project. So you'll see, I just included it in the packet for your information. It includes, the green shows the desired sidewalk extension. We're looking at putting a pedestrian bridge across Mitchell Creek, and also would like to work with MDOT to explore the feasibility of a hawk signal there, being that it's a quarter-mile away from the intersection. So we've sent that on to the Grand Traverse Band. Steve Faringa, who unfortunately had a scheduling conflict this morning, said that he wants to follow up and discuss that next week. So it sounds like there is some feedback from them. We are, Sam and I are working to put a 2% grant applications in. One would be for the design engineering for the sidewalk connection, and then the other one would be for the year-round maintenance for the snow removal, to kind of get us going. And then with future subsequent years, we'd be using our TIF funding for the sidewalk maintenance. So yeah, just wanted to provide you with the map and that letter that went out. It's background information.
great, thank you. Has there been any preliminary discussion with, I see the proposed Hawk Crossing could be over to another, as of yet undeveloped commercial property? Has there been any preliminary talk with the owner of that property?
We have not approached them. We have only discussed with MDOT the hawk signal, and the feedback we got from MDOT, they didn't say no, but they said it could be, 4 to 6 years to get the traffic warrants and all of that to approve the crossing.
Gotcha.
What businesses are next to there? What are those?
So there's a dentist office and Is that Culver, or?
No, there's like a office building with about 4 offices of various businesses in that other building.
Yeah, yep.
Sorry, the kind of L-shaped building.
There is a residential across the street where,
Yeah, so this is the tribal property. It's a short-term rental.
oh, it is, okay, so
And so, yeah, we would obviously explore with the tribe whether or not this was appropriate or desirable for them, but we figured since it is their property, we could extend it to there potentially. I figured there, people renting that or staying there would want to be able to have connectivity to the beach and the property.
Sure, I would think so. And that's primarily, when you say, it's rented out on a short-term rental basis? They're not using it for it's not like employee housing or something like that?
Actually,
or-
Sam could probably let us know. I know that they had a short-term rental license for a while. I don't know. Or we can check. We don't need to take a look at it right now. But yeah, I think that I know that they did have an active short-term rental license. If they don't now, it is zoned low-density residential, so they would need a short-term rental license in order to operate it. If they don't, then it would likely be long-term employee housing. So we can definitely look into that.
Gotcha.
So the tribe's not going to have a parking lot there, but for people that park at the state park or elsewhere, they're able to walk there from the state park.
Right. My understanding is that the tribe is looking for that property to be accessed by pedestrian only.
All right, well, that's great. I think it's some good first steps there. And do you have any comment about the email we got from Nia?
I don't, but just I think it's good things to keep in mind. And since it wasn't sent to the whole CIA board, I decided to put it in the packet just for your information.
All right, well, so yeah, I guess we will have to jump past approving the minutes until we have a quorum next month. It looks like we did have a withdrawal from our account for those, what was that, the surveying or historical survey at 4 Mile?
Yeah, so I can make a little clarification. We are combining we've got the $50,000 that was seed money for the Corridor Improvement Authority from the Township Board. We also have a grant. We have about $25,000 left in the USDA grant, so that's an addition. So a lot of the funding that we are using to fund, for example, the decals, the consulting that's being done by Beckett Rader, that's all coming out of our USDA grant. Yes, the $3,000 approximately for the work that was done to support the coastal management program grant is coming out of that $50,000.
And where do we stand now on the USDA grant? What's left?
We have, we had approximately $27,000. We approved, the Township Board approved a contract amendment with Beckett and Rader for an additional $12,000 because they've kind of been doing more beyond just the TIF plan. They've attended these meetings, done our bylaws, kind of supported us with the tax revenue sharing agreements with the taxing jurisdictions. They're also doing some additional exploration of other financing options. So $12,000 will come out of that $25,000 or $27,000 towards Beckett and Rader. The remaining funding, we're looking at having some of it go towards the updated banners along the state park property, which Sam is going to discuss in more detail, as well as the upgrade for the TART decals. and a few other kind of, we're using a little bit of it for the Beach District breakfast that we have coming up. So that will probably get us pretty close to zeroing out. And we could probably use whatever's remaining to go towards the sidewalk maintenance for this year.
Cool, okay. Great, and I guess beyond that, do you have any more updates?
I do have a few updates. I did want to just say that it was Public Service Recognition Week, so thank you all for your service, very much appreciated.
Thank you.
I was able to join DTE on a walking tour a couple weeks ago, and they're going to be upgrading their gas line. They're originally going to go along the US 31 corridor, but they've decided to go along the TART Trail corridor. So TART, myself, and some others were able to join them to walk that corridor. And so we identified the crossing that we're looking to get from Refit over to the state park and the TART Trail as kind of something that could get integrated into their project, and they were receptive to that, so.
You must have been on that group. I think I rode my bike past you guys.
did you?
Or I know I recognized Amy Hartzog.
Oh, yeah, I was there with
the
Amy.
group. Okay.
Yeah, that's funny, I must not have been paying attention. Yeah, so did want to mention that the TIF and development plan was formally adopted by the Township Board May 11th, so a couple weeks ago. And so we met with Grand Traverse County staff, kind of went through a tax sharing agreement. They asked the East Bay Township to draft that up, so we've sent some kind of talking points onto the township attorney, and she's going to be drafting up an agreement that we will share with Grand Traverse County staff and ultimately the county board for a proposed tax sharing agreement. Did want to put in a plug for our upcoming Beach District breakfast. That's on June 3rd at 9 a.m. We're excited. We have a really good lineup of speakers. We're going to have a representative from Army Corps of Engineers, from Eagle, and also from Michigan Sea Grant. They're going to be talking about coastal permitting and coastal resiliency best practices. So I think that will be particularly relevant for some of the business owners and others along the corridor. Wanted to just mention that there's a TART Trail East Trail Crew, and that's organized by Johnny Tornga. So Sam has been in contact with Johnny, and if anyone is interested in getting involved in Beach District cleanup, they do kind of like a monthly or bi-monthly outing. And so if you're interested in getting engaged, I would say reach out to Sam, and Sam can connect you with upcoming dates.
Cool.
And that is it. So thank you.
Thank you, Claire. And then I see we've got, there was a meeting with the property owner at 1050 on US 31. I guess, Rob, do you want to fill us in on that? Or-
Yeah, so we met, Claire and I and Beth was on that call. And the ownership from the site there, they've owned it for quite a while now. Their initial plan was to put a hotel there. They've since pulled back from that. And they're looking at something farther down the road, probably more housing type uses. But they were open to allowing the township to use that property. There was some talk of a lease potential. That's as far as we got with it, but they're very open to using it, and they would move as quickly as we could move. Trying to move us into the fall, but I think that's a little bit, I think next year is probably.
Yeah, we kind of talked a little bit about that, just in the fact that, you know, we don't have revenue right now. And we felt like once we start to get a little revenue, we probably want to prioritize like our sidewalk maintenance and some of those priority plans that were within the adopted plan. But in my understanding, it sounded like the property owners would probably give us a lease. I don't think that they were looking for like a monetary exchange. I felt like they were pretty open to, you know, kind of, we're downstate, you guys run it, but that could be a cool partnership.
It's a big parcel. So
Yeah.
there's a good amount of parking, you know, you could park on there. that was the thought process of that food park, where you'd get, 10, 12, however many food trucks from the local area to come in for the summer. They would then pull from the state park, which will open back next year. So it's kind of I don't have a food truck, but I know some people with food trucks, and I think they'd be extremely interested in that. It's almost like a built-in captive audience with the state park and just drawing people to that area.
That'd be pretty neat, and if we could get it going sooner than later, like next year, and they do eventually do housing, that could possibly somehow be incorporated into that, because it's such a big parcel that, I think it'd be a draw for people buying a house, depending on how it was set up, out of the way or whatever.
Yeah, it could even be a bit of a proof of concept if for future development plans there, if it were more of like a mixed use. But if you said, hey, look, we've shown some success, we've had X number of, we've had these food trucks here, so many thousands of visitors and this much, business activity there, it might be persuasive to a developer to say, oh, well, gosh, we should include some retail or hospitality space there.
Yeah, Claire brought that up, and they were receptive to that. I mean, I think they're just looking at what they could do with that piece of property. It's for sale, and I think it will remain for sale, but their intention is to develop it, so.
I'm curious if you have recommendations for next steps. I mean, staff could continue to work on this. We could do some sort of an ad hoc subcommittee where, a few members of this board that are interested in working on it in a little more detail could do that, and then report back to the Corridor Improvement Authority Board. So, we can't take formal action today, but if you have some recommendations, we could kind of set something up for approval next month.
I mean, I think we're gonna have to have, it seems easy to just call up my friend and say, hey, put your food truck there, but it's not, right? There's a lot more that goes into it, and I'm sure there's insurances and things like that. So yeah, I think if we could create some sort of committee to,
So are you volunteering? to chair the said
yes, I am
committee?
volunteering, yes, I will do that.
Okay.
Do they have water and sewer hookup over there yet, or probably not?
They do.
They do?
They do, I think, yeah.
Okay, because food trucks always prefer to have the amenities over just, it's like rustic camping versus having your stuff.
I think
Yeah.
that there's a line. I don't know, like in terms of internal to the site, I think that would probably be challenging. I think from like a water sewer perspective, we'd probably be bringing in, sanitation stations, and it probably wouldn't be hooked up to the sanitary sewer system.
I mean, there was a water park there.
That's true.
Oh my God.
There is water access, yeah,
Gotta be some sort of
yeah.
utilities. in it.
Yeah, but that's definitely something we could explore in more detail.
And then, of course, just the access to it, right? Like, how do people get into it, out of it? I mean, it could be potentially an extremely busy, no left-hand turns, no, I mean, there's two lights now that are gonna be.
Oh, yeah. So you do some kind of site, like rough site plan.
How they would access that.
I've talked with our attorney a little bit just about kind of the, what that would look like. And so he said, let him know kind of the nuts and bolts of what we're looking at, and he can kind of assist us with the legal side. So I think having an ad hoc committee that meets maybe monthly and kind of plans for next year would be a good next step. And it might even be helpful to have maybe another business owner that's not directly on this Corridor Improvement Authority board, but could engage a little bit, like a nearby business owner. I'm even thinking like, Bayside Market or Pirates Cove or something.
Yeah, or somebody in the food space, like the Smoke and Porter, or,
If you could find a restaurant that either already has a food truck or wants to start a food truck, that would be a good impetus for them to maybe want to help out with it.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have a food tent that's going in this summer. It's a Venezuelan couple that's going to be operating out of the old Break and Wave site, so they might be interested in being a part of that initiative as well. But- So, okay,
Right.
well, that sounds good.
All right.
Any
thanks.
other volunteers for the ad hoc committee?
Can I volunteer people that are?
I've got Ally on here.
Yeah, yeah, she probably would do it.
Okay, well, we'll give everyone a second option, a second opportunity next month.
All right. Yeah, and I guess moving on to the street lighting and banners.
Yeah.
Sam?
So, kind of unique opportunity came up in just discussing, or Traverse City Light and Power had reached out regarding kind of what's going on over near the state park and their new configuration of their entry, and inquired about some different lighting options that are possible, some like a lighting option that is possible that's similar to what's down on US 31 along Munson Avenue, kind of near East Front Street. And a possible opportunity to implement some similar lighting, and then also some banners that would be similar to the banners that are there currently. And so we were just trying to, or we wanted to kind of present what we have discussed with them so far about what the different, what it would kind of look like, and wanted to get some feedback from you guys about that. The banners would be, the lighting post that's indicated there is actually the finish that's next to it. It wouldn't be that bright red finish. That's that's what TC Power is kind of moving towards, is kind of that stainless steel polished finish. And then the banners would potentially be able to be 30 by 72. And actually, I meant to bring a banner in here with us, but our current ones are 24 by 36, which is about the size of those future land use maps over there and the zoning map. So it'd be considerably bigger on these posts. So there's a lot more opportunity for design and other things.
And these ones that we're looking at, the one that says housing ends homelessness, those are 30 by 72, correct? So you can kind of see in terms of scale. I think, because it is such an auto-oriented corridor right now, we're trying to make that transition to pedestrian uses, but I think having anything smaller, it makes it just look a little bit out of scale as you're driving down the corridor.
Yeah, I've noticed the ones that are there are pretty small.
Yeah, they look really small, but they're also the same size as what's, along 8th Street. Those don't look small, but sort of just that
Once you put a
reference.
banner on a 40-foot pole, it all of a sudden looks a lot smaller, where
Yeah.
like these would be smaller scale lights with a larger banner on them. So it works in the opposite way, where it's going to look a little bit, it's definitely going to look bigger.
I mean, the other option that was presented to us, so TC Light and Power has a few different light options. It's not like you could bring in anything to them, but the ones along 8th Street were another option for them. So they can put in pedestrian scale lighting. It would just be a smaller banner. So, which again would be an option. So we can also present those at the next meeting to the board. We got a call from Beth today, and she had kind of reviewed this and was concerned about these being kind of more automobile scaled. She was looking for something more pedestrian scaled. So it's a little bit of a balance. We could go with the more pedestrian scaled ones. We just want to kind of with the understanding that whatever we choose here is likely going to be something that we want to continue through the entire corridor, because we want to make sure that we have some consistency. And so Sam and I were thinking, we want to be also consistent with the, Munson Parkway. It's kind of nice to have some consistency there, but it's, ultimately up to the board in terms of what you would be interested in. In terms, I will mention just the cost of it. So the cost of the banner installation, we're looking at about $5,500. Those are the banners plus the installation, so that could come through the USDA grant. But then in terms of like keeping the lights on, they have a monthly fee of about $20 per light. We've got 6 lights, so you'd be looking at making a commitment of a little over $2,000 per year on an annual basis that would come out of the TIF funds. So that's just another thing to keep in mind.
Would the banners be something we'd be like changing out, like seasonally, or to
You know-
say different things, or?
Yeah, we'd probably start with just the East Bay Beach District banners, but I think we could probably model something similar to what Traverse City, DDA, and TC Tourism has done with like, having different, horse shows, for example, might want, and so that could be a revenue stream for us.
Or we could start to use it to feature events that are happening within the beach district as we get those together too.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to the lighting, the taller lighting. I mean, it's so dark in that corridor. That's one of the issues that I think that corridor faces. It's a safety issue all along that. And if we had lit that up a little bit more, cars could actually see people.
Yeah, I know that I've definitely heard concerns about the lighting, particularly like around 4 Mile East, even kind of like the middle, in between 3 and 4 Mile and East. Do you find that it's also not well lit near the state park? Or do you feel like the lighting is adequate?
It's been since last year.
Yeah,
I go out late at night, so.
yeah, I know, I feel like right now I'm like 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
not driving through
I
there.
feel it's dark along, I just feel like that a lot of that corridor, but you're right. I mean, between that 3 and 4 Mile, it is even considerably more dark.
Yeah, but we would want the
But it
same
would be like a-
lighting.
yeah,
We would want
exactly.
this lighting to continue along that.
And those shorter lights, I mean, I see them where they're at. I mean, they do light the area, but they're not, they certainly don't light up like the taller ones would.
Yeah, one option along 8th Street, and sorry, we didn't bring the photo. I kind of advised Sam, like, let's not give him too many options for confusion, but we can put it in the packet for next month, is on 8th Street, there's like there's a light post, and it's like a pedestrian scale light, and then a vehicular scale light. So that's another option we could look at.
Yeah, I mean, I think particularly along this stretch, now that it's in my head, I'll have to like actually drive or walk or bike around for perspective. But it seems like if you go a little bit further east than what we're looking at here, you've got more ambient lighting from all the businesses and signage and stuff, whereas this stretch is a little bit more, as it is, it's pretty dark.
Yeah, we just had the Hampton Inn turn off their lights because they had some of the, so, a little less light coming over there.
Yeah, I guess this is good food for thought. I mean, I think 100% that the lighting in general it fits in with what our goals are, and improving safety and, friendliness to pedestrian activity. I mean, I don't know what the perspective is on the cost-wise of keeping the lights on, but that seems like a reasonable, in perspective of what our expected budget is, like, that seems like a reasonable cost for keeping the lights on.
Yeah. Yeah, with the understanding that it would go up as we added additional lights along
Sure.
that corridor. But it sounds, from what I'm hearing from kind of your initial feedback, is that you would be receptive to kind of the smaller pedestrian scale lighting, but only if there was also kind of a vehicular light component. Because if we're going to have it along the entire corridor, we do want to make sure that it's well lit,
Yeah.
both for pedestrians and vehicles' safety.
Yeah, and I think the reality is, it's going to continue to be a major thoroughfare for vehicular traffic, so having more lighting for them is probably in everybody's best interest.
From a safety standpoint. If you guys get a chance over the next month or so, if you are out driving either early morning or late into the evening, take a look and just provide us with some feedback. That would be helpful.
Who maintains those then? Let's say the light goes out, and who is it?
So TC Light and Power that's my understanding. We would just be paying that monthly fee for the service.
Maintenance,
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so if the lights are out, it's there, put in a call to TCLP and they take care of it.
Might be neat during the holidays to do like the old school, like Christmassy garland stuff.
All right. And then The Tart Trail decals, Sam?
Yeah. So, we received feedback that the one on Holiday Road was damaged. And so in kind of going out and looking at those, I also noticed that the QR codes weren't working anymore. I think they got embossed by the concrete. So, I asked, I reached out to the vendor that had originally done it and got some pricing on what it would be to replace them all. And then do a slight redesign to just include probably like the URL or something for the beach district versus the QR code because it stopped working after a minute. And so just wanted to kind of get your guys' feedback or thoughts on kind of moving forward or not with, and kind of longer term, what your thoughts are on, I think, whether this is something we want to continue to do annually or if we want to move to thinking about other options for what could be done down there for branding.
Do we have any idea, any sort of metrics, like, could we track those QR codes, were those used, or is the main idea driving website traffic to the beach district, or just raising general
I
awareness?
think it's more about raising general awareness, and we were kind of thinking that this could be a good kind of intermediary where we're working to kind of brand the corridor, create placemaking, sense of place. I think longer term, we're going to have more permanent installations, whether it's benches or seating or drinking fountains or, some of those placemaking trail amenities along Don is even kind of taking a look at doing some placemaking amenities on his property. So I think as we get some of those amenities along the trail, we don't anticipate doing these decals every year long-term, but I think that this is kind of a nice bridge for raising awareness of the beach district. So maybe we do it one more year and then kind of work towards more permanent installations. And I think, are people, out rollerblading or biking and probably not immediately going to the website, but I think I've, heard from a lot of people like, oh, saw the decals, like that's cool. So I think that it's definitely creating an awareness amongst, hundreds, thousands of people that are traveling that corridor throughout the summer.
Does it have to be a decal? Can we look at signage of some type? I mean, because in the winter, obviously, people still use that trail, the decal may be covered up or there's
Yeah.
damage. I mean, that's pretty costly if you're replacing them yearly.
Yeah, so I think that, the signage would be a good example of a more permanent installation. So I'm thinking maybe this year would be our last year of decals, and then we'd transition into something more permanent.
Like in what I'm trying to plan to do, if, you guys could provide something for me to put there, like a badge, a metal badge or something on a rock, East Bay Beach District, I'd definitely be open to doing that,
Cool,
in that
yeah,
little spot.
that sounds
Brand
great.
it.
Yeah, and probably have that type of thing maybe on benches along the corridor, bike racks, seating areas, those types of things. And then I think the signage is a little bit bigger discussion with TART in terms of, I think that there is definitely an opportunity for some wayfinding signage to direct people to businesses, beach amenities, those types of things. So I think that is also part of our longer-term process and projects.
So does TART have to approve a sign?
I believe, we request approval from them, yeah, because they have an easement within that railroad right-of-way.
Yeah, I was just looking at 3,900 and saying, could you just put a sign up for the same amount? Instead of spending.
As opposed to doing the decals
Opposed to
again.
doing a decal again.
Yeah.
Like, would that be a more permanent?
I think that they're a little bit gun-shy on the signs in terms of adding more signs. So I think if we were to add some additional signage, it would be pretty strategic wayfinding as opposed to just beach district.
I mean, the QR code is nice, it is simple, like you just grab your phone and snap a picture. And I guess you could take a picture of
Any idea like how far the $4,000 would go towards some signs with TART? Like,
My guess is that we could use it towards probably hiring someone to help us with more kind of a comprehensive wayfinding package, and I think it would probably be beyond just the TART trail. It would also, extend out to, Jens Park and the beach and maybe a few signs along the corridor, kind of directing people.
I mean, I don't feel super strongly about it either way, but I'm kind of, like to take a utilitarian approach, and it's like, well, I mean, the decals are fine, but it could that, if we could put that towards like a more long-term, long-term goal right now, that might be,
Yeah, that sounds good.
beneficial.
So we'll plan to just kind of keep the decals as is. As they start to wear out, we'll make sure they get removed. And then we will plan to, I don't know if this 4,000 will go directly to the signage, but we will put it towards the initiatives that we're working on, whether it's the sidewalk maintenance contract or something of that nature.
yeah, I think that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
All
good.
right, wow. Yeah, thanks, guys. Do we have any other further comments or consideration for future agenda items?
So I have, for next month, we'll probably revisit that food court ad hoc committee and discuss that in a little bit more detail. We'll bring the lighting back for discussion next month. Beyond that, I think probably the next big thing for us to start working on is probably some redevelopment-ready sites and envisioning behind that. So I don't know if we'll get to that next month. I would like to be RRC certified, the redevelopment-ready communities, because then we'll have some technical assistance from MEDC to help us through that process. So those are a few of the upcoming agenda items that we're looking at.
And remind me, what's our timeline like on the RRDC,
The RRC,
RRC?
MEDC, RRC. Lots of acronyms. So the redevelopment ready communities, we're very close to certification. Right now, our big final heavy lift is the capital improvement program, which we're working with Beth on that.
Great.
We talked about the committee. Do we want to get that organized before next month's meeting, or do we want to do it kind of at next month's, putting it in the?
Let's do it at next month, just so that we've got everyone, hopefully, we'll have a quorum and we can appoint those ad hoc committee members. So those will likely be public meetings that we'll post and offer opportunity to attend.
All right, well, and we've got our next regular meeting on June 16th. And I look forward to coming down to the breakfast on June 3rd, too.
Great.
All right, well, in that case, I'll adjourn the meeting. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.